Hey guys, Nito King here, and I found this new save point after I beat Bongo Hills, but that's not important right now. I'm gonna head on to the next level, Allegro Presto. Now, if you're not familiar with musical terms, both of those words mean fast, and this level pretty much plays like your average Sonic game. Except without the rings that make you invulnerable. So the hardest part of this level really is not touching the entrance sign when you're trying to jump over it. I have nothing to say. But you definitely want to jump over the entrance, because you probably lost some lives in Bongo Hills and need those fist power-ups. Then you want to make sure you're starting from the top of a hill, because you need to pick up a lot of momentum. And you need to duck whenever you see a note hanging low over the ramps. If you don't have enough momentum, you won't be able to get past those notes on the uphill. You cannot crawl uphill. And that will kill you. So, a bit of slowdown here as I finally reach the first cage. The good news is I will be getting all 6 cages in this playthrough, because I really don't want to have to do this again. And watch carefully, you only get one chance to make this work. The key here is missing those uphills along the way, because they'll slow you down and make it a lot harder to get up to this ledge. If you don't make it, you cannot get back to the top of the hill to try again. And here I go back to pick up a cage that I missed, and continue on with my level. Now here I decided to show you the physics of how the fist works on the slippery floor, and almost push myself into the spikes. But after about 20 tries of this level, I think I'm above that. Now coming up next is the most infamous part of the level. The thing you heard appearing behind me is about to appear in front of me, and this part causes so many people so many problems. Including me. Now if you notice, those ledges in the middle get narrower and narrower each time. So they become tiny targets, and if you hit them a bit wrong, you gotta start again. And after a while, I think the trumpets blaring over and over again start to sound the same. So I figured I'd vary it up a little bit. Okay, so it didn't really take me that long to get past there, I just looped it. And we're finally past that part of the level, which, sadly, is the easiest part, despite its infamy, because you can't die. There's nothing there to kill you. And I come up here, even though there's not really any important secrets here. In the PC version, I think they put a cage up here, plus a trumpet, and some tricky jumps. None of that in this game. Makes me wonder if maybe they did have more planned and just had to remove some from their PlayStation version. Anyway, there's the fourth cage. Just make sure you don't go through this area too quickly, and you should be able to get it no problem. You don't have to climb back up here, but I always do, and then I never manage to get the tings anyway. And coming up here, you got trumpets on both sides, kill the one on the right to proceed, and then just keep moving left, or you'll land on those disappearing note clouds, and it's trickier to get back off them and onto the ledge than it looks, especially if you're not expecting them. Now this part is where the level gets difficult. Not just because you have to know to jump back to the left from that first bongo, although coming up here is just a secret and not nearly mandatory. They give you a health pickup here, and then there's a 1-up just below which refills your health anyway. And you're probably not going to have to do this part more than once, unless you're really bad at it. Now you can fall down through this gap here, and there's a health pickup over to the left, and a speed fist to the right. Or, I had those the wrong way around, but... important thing is, if you drop between those two reeds, then the eyes appear and start shooting lightning at you. Whenever you see platforms like this, in this part of the level you want to take them slowly. And if you need a golden fist, then keep to the right at that part. Otherwise, go to the left to collect the tings. Now coming up here, I think, is the hardest cage to get, just because the jump onto this Maraca platform is tricky. It looks easy, it is not. Those things are never pleasant to deal with. And then we get lightning eyes, usually not a threat, but I got hit there for some reason. And finally, all of the cages. And very mistimed jump. But that's it. Once I beat this level, I'm done with it, and I never have to come back. And now, these ledges. The easiest way to cross them is to grab onto the ledge, and then just jump so that you're grabbing onto the next ledge, like that. You may have seen a full health power-up down there. If there is a way to get it, I have no idea what it is. There's a ledge way to the left side, which you might be able to land on successfully, but if you jump for the full health, you die, and no platforms appear to save you. And I also have no idea how you would get back up. I'm sure there's hidden clouds somewhere. And I have no idea why I took that at full speed, but whatever works. This is the hardest part of the room right here. And I didn't quite make it up to the clouds, so I'll wait for this guy. Obviously this isn't a cage over here, but it is the Ting Magician. And I can use the extra lives. Assuming, of course, I can actually beat his level and win the 1-up. Like I said, these Maraca platforms are very hard to jump onto, particularly from slippery floor. And at this point, it's pretty obvious that I am never going to beat this level, so I just need to try to collect as many tings as I can and win back most of the price of admission. So I'm only out 3 tings total on that failed run. Now, of course, I might have proceeded to edit out a lot of failures here, but I got it on the second try. I know I'm ruining things in advance for you, but... see, the trick to getting through this area, I think, is never stand still on the maracas. If you're standing still, you're wasting time, and you got a decent amount here, because they are tricky jumps. They give you a bit of leeway, but the most important thing is to get that leftmost ting last, because otherwise, if you fall from it, you'll hit the entrance sign and automatically give up. So now back to the level. And again, we must clear these slippery platforms. If you can land so that you're hanging from one of the platforms, that's the ideal situation. Falling off is obviously the exact opposite. So let's take this part a bit more slowly this time. Again, you just have no traction on those ledges. Jumping from one to the next as quickly as possible is the best way to do it if you actually aim properly. If you're not very good at jumping, I don't know why you're playing this game. You're never going to get anywhere. Now here's the way you're supposed to take this part, nice and slow. It was really the first part, I think, where your momentum is going to be critical. That and the last level of Bandland, having a lot of momentum is key. Again, grab the ledge, and you lose all your momentum, which is perfect. And I'm finally past there, although there's one more trick to the rest of the level. See if you can figure out where to go from here. There we go. Climb up the series of disappearing ledges, and this part you want to be on the bottom ledge so that you can successfully jump to the cloud and back to the exit. I tried making the jump from the top before, and you just fall to your death. And now here's a scene that is not going to be repeated if you ever do come back to the level. At least in this version there are no cages here. I don't know why I did that. It looked cool, but having actually made it this far in the level and only lost one life, I really shouldn't be taking chances. So, you'll notice I'm moving along slowly. Can't do anything to the notes. Now here's kind of a fun bit. For absolutely no reason, I made that jump. This area is actually supposed to be an exit, and I'll show you the entrance a little bit. We go down those spring clouds that are obviously supposed to raise you up, and here's the reward for coming down here, which is vital if you don't have your 5 hit points right now. There's a lot of stuff in this area that'll hurt you. And that ramp over the left I was just standing on is, of course, the way you're supposed to get into here. It's a bit more intuitive than the way I came. And, of course, it gives you some stuff to do while you're on your way out. You got tings to collect. But if you crawl to the right there, that's where you end up. There's no tings there, no power-ups, absolutely nothing. And again, you've just got to have the momentum to get past those notes on the way up. So, anytime you're not ducking, you need to be walking to the left. And here is, the photographer. Make sure you stop long enough to get your picture taken, if you can, on these stupid slippery ledges. And now it's just jumping past a bunch of notes. Now there may be some secrets to be revealed on the bottom floor, fist power-ups or extra lives. I have no idea. I don't really want to know. All I know is that every time I have to jump over one of those notes, I'm going to be on the next ledge up, so forget it. And here we are at the end of the level. There is the boss of Bandland, Mr. Sax. All you gotta do is hit him once and he'll tromp away. The only point of him being there now is to show you, when you actually do get to fight him, how you hurt him. We're almost done. And this is, I think, the worst location Batilla ever meets you with her multicolored text to give you a power-up. I believe you can die here, but I really didn't want to try. And this is the most useful move in the rest of the game. They do basically require you to have the hair helicopter, and of course, you can't get further in the game without beating this level and acquiring it, but it is just so helpful. Next time, Twilight Gulch in the Blue Mountains. If I were a complete masochist, which I'm not, so we're not going there. Next time we're going to be going to Gong Heights, which isn't much easier, but at least it's still just Bandland. See you guys then.